like to call this meeting of the Brook Township Council to order. Madam Clerk?
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on June 25th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik. Here. Councilman Minikino.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilwoman Ponterero.
Here.
Vice President Halloran.
Here.
President Crate.
Yes. At this
Thank
time,
you.
we'll have a salute to the flag and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time, I'd like to call up Nancy Russo, Supervisor for the Crossing Guards, the Mayor, and also Councilwoman Ponterero to present our crossing guards with a resolution and proclamation, sorry. Yes, of course. I'm so, I was only...
So our crossing guards do a great job every single school day, right? Keeping our kids safe going to and from school, which is a very, very important job. So of course we have Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, which is awesome. It's going to be October, which is coming up before the next council meeting, which is today,
Thank you. Now we are on to our consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Recognize Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, October 8th, 2021.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Thank you, Madam President. Throughout the school year, hundreds of children are kept safe and provided guidance each day, thanks to the work of our school crossing guards. This resolution recognizes the valuable service provided by our dedicated school crossing guards by designating October the 8th, 2021 as Crossing Guard Appreciation Day.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2.
Authorize receipt of bids, purchase and delivery of street sweeper.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bid for the purchase of a delivery of a new street sweeper. This purchase was approved in the 2021 capital budget.
Thank you. Resolution 4-3.
Authorize receipt of bids, purchase and delivery of side loading refuse collection vehicles.
This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the purchase and delivery of side-loading refuse collection vehicles as approved in the 2021 capital budget. Resolution 4-4.
Authorize receipt of bids 2020 local roadway resurfacing contract Pine Terrace section.
Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the Pine Terrace roadway resurfacing project. So this is going to be paving of the roads. So the roadways scheduled for improvement include Smith Drive, Smith Circle, Barclay Drive, Conifer Road, Eisenhower Drive North, and parts of Sudbury Road. So those are some of our next roads to be paved. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5.
Authorize receipt of bids roadway resurfacing contract South Lake Drive, West Lake Drive, Beth Avenue, Kelly Avenue, and Rose Avenue.
Mayor?
Thank you. Since this doesn't have a section of town, we kind of already named our the streets, but it's a similar resolution to the last one. It authorizes the receipt of bids for roadway resurfacing project, and that includes the roadways South Lake Drive, West Lake Drive, Beth Avenue, Kelly Avenue, and Rose Avenue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 4-6.
Authorize award of bid improvements to Baywood Phase 2.
Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution is actually the authorization of the award of bids. So the other two is asking for the receipt of bids, so we get the bids in, and then the council has to authorize the award of bid. And it's in the amount of $261,168.75 to MECO Incorporated of Clarksburg, New Jersey, for roadway improvements to Baywood Phase 2. So the project consists of hot mix asphalt pavement and other associated work on various roads throughout the township, specifically East Granada Drive, Seville Drive, and Toledo Drive. Bid notices went out to 74 prospective bidders from our bidders list. 8 of those requested the actual bid packages. 5 bids were submitted with prices that ranged from a high of $282,687.50 to the low bid, which we're asking the council to award tonight, in the amount of $261,168.75. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize rebid purchase and delivery of front-load dumpsters.
Council Vice President Howard.
Thank you, Council President. Is that on? This resolution authorizes the rebid of the purchase and delivery of front-load dumpsters. On September 16th, the township received bids for this project, and the bid notices were provided to 43 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 7 picked up bidders packages. 1 bid was received, but was rejected due to a fatal flaw in the submission.
Thank you.
Okay.
Resolution 4-8.
Authorize rejection of bids, Police Department Special Operations Building and Vehicle Storage.
Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the rejection of bids for the Police Department Special Operations Building and Vehicle Storage Area. On Wednesday, September 15th, the township received bids for the project. Bid notices were provided to 29 prospective bidders from our bidder list, and 13 picked up the bid packages. 8 bids were received with prices ranging from $1,410,264.24 to $2,266,638.23 for the base bid. The Township is opting to reject all bids in the entirety due to them substantially exceeding the cost estimates for the project pursuant to NJSA 40A-11-13.2. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 49.
Authorize award of bid CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Program Project Number 18-05.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for Community Development Block Grant Housing Rehabilitation Program to Premier Property Management Services, LLC Beechwood, for a total bid of $19,670. Bid notices were sent to 26 prospective bidders from our bidders list, of which 2 bidders picked up bid packages. 2 bids were received, with Premier Property Management Services being the lowest responsible bidder.
Thank you. Resolution 410.
Authorize rejection of bids and authorize rebid CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Program Project Number 19-11.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the rejection of bids and authorizes the rebid for a CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Program project. On September 10th, the Township received bids for this project. Bid notices were provided to 26 prospective bidders from our bidders list, and 2 picked up bid packages. 2 bids were received, however, both were substantially higher than our estimate, and they exceed our budget appropriation per project.
Thank you. Resolution 411.
Authorize donation of surplus property to Brook Township Board of Education.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the donation of surplus property to the Brook Township Board of Education, specifically a 2008 Ford Crown Vic Police Interceptor, which is deemed no longer needed for public use. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 412. Madam Clerk.
412A is a performance bond release for Federal Realty Investment Trust on Chambersbridge Road in the amount of $127,921.20. 412B is a performance bond release for Hackensack Meridian Nursing and Rehab on Jack Martin Boulevard in the amount of $224,154.79. 412C is an inspection fund release for Bricktown Equities LLC on Route 70 in the amount of $854.87.
Thank you. Resolution 413. Ms. Bergen?
Thank you. 13A is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 383.14, Lot 85, in the amount of $2,725.74. 13B is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 383.21, Lot 17, in the amount of $2,476.52. 13C, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 494, Lot 1, in the amount of $1,724.22. 13E, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 869.13, Lot 14, in the amount of $3,146.13. 13E, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 870, Lot 39, in the amount of $3,039.19. 13F, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 1068.115, Lot 1, in the amount of $5,684.64. 13G, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 1447.03, Lot 9, in the amount of $883.43. 13H, 100% DAV widow of veteran refund and cancel taxes for Block 1020.02, Lot 26, in the amount of $2,391.86. 13I, 100% DAV widow of veteran refund and cancel taxes for Block 1210.26, Lot 11, in the amount of $1,260.81. 13J, tax overpayments for 2021, Block 646, Lot 52.01, C0013, in the amount of $1,398.50. And 13K is to cancel unclaimed credits for 2013 through 2017.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council? Closed council, open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Seeing none, closed public. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 414, Bill Resolution, Computer 2021.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brook that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $2,070,504.39.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the computer bill resolution only. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Abstain Teamsters and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Abstain Meridian Occupational Health and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. 415, Manual Bill Resolution 2021.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brook that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,701,750.21.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the manual bill resolutions. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We are on to 5-1, ordinances on second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brook, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the acceptance of a conservation restriction with Manila Shores Beach Association, Inc. for Block 57, Lot 3.
Council Vice President Halloran.
Thank you. This ordinance will authorize the acceptance of a conservation restriction for Block 57, Lot 3, that was purchased by Maniloking Shores Association. Members of the association purchased an oceanfront lot for their members' use, and they're paying taxes based on the maximum potential for the property, which is a single-family residential lot. The association is placing a conservation restriction on the property as beach use only, no building permitted, which means it can only be used for that purpose. That conservation restriction is needed for the tax assessor to set taxable value as a beach property opposed to a single-family residence. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public on the ordinance we just spoke about. Ms. Call?
Said that the Manchilloking Shores purchased the property, and our ordinance is to have it as beach use only, not a one-family home. What is that difference in dollars and cents to the township, to people of Manchilloking Shores Association that are paying for the bill?
I think that's what we're waiting to have assessed, correct?
Yeah, the assessor.
That's correct.
Yes, so we had to pass this ordinance in order to find out what that difference would be.
Oh, really? Did anybody say that in a reading of the ordinance?
Yes, I said it. I said, let's
Would
see.
you like to restate everything you read?
Sure. This ordinance will authorize the acceptance of a conservation restriction for Block 57, Lot 3, that was purchased by Manchilloking Shores Association. Members of the association purchased an oceanfront lot for their members' use. They are paying taxes based on maximum potential use for the property, which is single-family residential lot. Okay?
How much is that single-family residential lot in that location? They're paying taxes on it
we have that, does anybody have that?
Not with me, no.
You don't have in front of you
Right.
either, what they will be paying once you change it.
Well, that will be determined by the assessor.
But you won't have that in front of you until after you pass the ordinance changing it to that time.
Right.
You have no information on it. Thank you very much.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Anyone else?
It's working.
Seeing none? Close public, roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Momolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We are on ordinance 5-2, second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brook, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 245-90.
Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you. On April 13th, the council passed an ordinance establishing impervious coverage, impervious lot coverage. The one thing that was overlooked, the fact that these communities in RR zone, which are mostly retirement communities, were designated at 30% maximum building impervious coverage. With that, a house alone in those areas, it exceeds that. So what we are doing is amending the ordinance to amend established maximum permitted allowable impervious surface coverage for those planned residential retirement communities to maximum of 70%. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council? Close council, open to public on this, on this particular, yes, this call.
Yes, I'm still Nantal at 18 Briar Boulevard. And I'd like to know, what is our zoning?
Rural residential.
Do you think there is any place in Brick Township that is rural at this point?
Plenty. There are plenty of sections that are RR. RR1s, RR2s.
They're said to be RR. I asked if, do you honestly believe any place is still rural residential?
What it's considered rural residential is the lot size, like a rural residential one would be an acre lot. So that's the way zoning is figured. So it's rural, it's called rural residential. We didn't make that up.
It is my understanding that rural residential also states what kind of traffic laws apply. It's listed in the New Jersey Driver's Manual. Nothing is rural anymore. Rural residential would have a speed limit of 40 or 50 miles under certain types of roads. Brick, New Jersey is no place to be driving at 40 or 50 miles an hour. It is too crowded. People cannot walk any sidewalks, but most of them don't exist. The lanes are not appropriate for the environment that you now have. It's so crowded, the street lighting isn't appropriate. I suggest you have the attorney or get a person from outside to clearly look at what are rural residential. My dad bought a home in Powell in January 1966. He used to take this daughter with her 2 children and my sister, who was basically 15, 16, from Powell to Brick to go shopping on Sunday where there was no blue laws. The back roads he took, they closed off the road he would take from Powell, where Ridge Road is, and it's called Lanes Mill, and they put a fence up. Like we have separating the lanes on Chambers Bridge Road here, which is ridiculous, and I remember when they did that. This is not rural residential. Get somebody from the state to look at it.
Thank you. Mr. Foster? Public comments? Only on this, yeah. We're still on second reading, yes. Anyone else on this particular ordinance? Yes, sir?
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Good evening. Joe Orth, 30 Cleveland Ave. Good evening, everybody. As per the amendment 245-90 impervious coverage, my concern is with new construction going forward. We're going from an existing 20% impervious coverage to 30% in the amendment, but is that really going to remain 30%? Or are we actually going to get 40%?
No,
So-
we're actually,
So with that, I have two questions, and you'll probably answer it. I was hoping you would address it. Two questions before you vote on this amendment. If 30% impervious coverage is approved, can dwellings be built up to 30% but still allow a homeowner to go before the zoning board to ask for another 10% for a sunroom or a patio, therefore allowing up to 40% impervious coverage on a given lot? And number two, will you commit to new destruction being deed restricted or have some type of 30% cap, period? You get your dwelling and patio in that 30%. Done.
okay. What that does is sets parameters. Now, anybody that's built a home, just to say, if you're in an R5, an R5 allows you to do 70% impervious coverage because it's only 5,000 square feet. So if we went 30% on that, you wouldn't be able to build a house. It'd be that tiny. So it breaks down. R5 is 70%, an R75 is 65%, R10 is 60%, R15 is 55%, and then when you get into R20 is 50%. So what it means is you cannot exceed the lot size with impervious coverage. If you want to do that, you have the right to come into the Board of Adjustment to seek additional approval for that. But that's the parameters that are going to be set when somebody brings in a house plans for building. At the point, we just passed that in April because we really didn't have strict guidelines to that. So now we're trying to keep the lots to, impervious coverage. Does that answer your question?
It kind of does. Anybody else? Is that?
Yes.
I run land use.
He runs land use.
Okay.
Yes.
The council establishes these regulations, and I'm answering because you asked about the zoning board. Can you basically restrict people from going to the zoning board? And the state law sets the requirements for the zoning board. The zoning board is there when people want to have exceptions, changes from the rules that are set by the council, called variances. And the zoning board looks at it because sometimes somebody has a very narrow piece of property or an unusual piece of property. The zoning board has the authority from the state to consider all the circumstances in that particular case to see if variances will be allowed. Building closer to the side, sometimes people might ask to build more impervious coverage on their lot if they have a very, an unusual type of lot. So people are going to have that right, and the council can't change that right because that's just established by state law. That's the way the system works.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from public on this ordinance? Seeing none, close public. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are on to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brook Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anyone for public comment? Mr. Foster?
Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. I have one point. Oh boy, this feedback is bad. Yeah.
Just step
boy.
back.
Oh, It's just a question, problem with Chambers Ridge Road. I know years ago we had a problem with different administrations regarding people crossing the road unsafely, specifically where the post office is on one side and there's like an apartment on the other side. And I was driving a couple days ago, and I'm sorry about this feedback here. And people just walk right. I was driving at night. I was coming home from work. I do DoorDash, as you all know. And the people just don't look. There's like a crosswalk there where it says, the red hand stop. You're not supposed to walk, and they just ignore it. And I was wondering if they could get some kind of police presence there to issue tickets or something, or if there's something that can be done, because it's. I saw someone in a wheelchair almost get hit by a car because they just pulled right out, and it was. I understand it gets frustrating sometimes. Some crosswalks in town don't really work that well. Like we put it about a year ago, the one on Cedar Bridge over by the Quaker Steak, but that was fixed since then. But that's like a dangerous situation there. We don't want to have another situation where someone is struck and injured or killed again. I just want to bring that to your attention. I don't know if anybody else has, but it's just they don't pay attention, or they just ignore. They just cross the road. Not only do they not cross at the crosswalk, they cross in the middle of the road. I don't understand it at all, because there's like a fence there to prevent people from. But they'll walk in the crosswalk they make, and then for some reason they'll turn to the right. So that would be, I guess that'd be eastbound on Chambers Bridge Road, on the same side of the post office, and they'll walk right past that fence that's up there, and then they'll cross there. It just makes no sense. I don't know what we can do, the township can do about it, because it's I understand it's there for a purpose, a reason. I was taught when I grew up in Farmingdale, small town, so we had to walk everywhere there, and so I was taught about how to safely cross and things like that. But I think that we're going to have another problem with someone being struck and injured there, and I just want to bring this to your attention. I know there's a limit of what the town can do. I've driven all over. I used to drive to Scatterick there when I was a computer operator, and some towns, at least East Brunswick, they have an elevated crosswalk with totally enclosed. The sides and the roof are like a chain link fence. But damn, one night I was going to work, and so these little brats are up there throwing rocks at cars through the thing. So I know there's a limit you can do, but I don't know, maybe a police presence. I think that'd be a good spot for the police to have a unit with a radar gun. Although speeding is really not too much of a problem, too much there at that section. But just want to bring it to your attention.
Thank you. Anyone else for public? Mr. Sluka?
Okay, I'll try this microphone. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. The letter I wrote, I guess last week to you people. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Lisa Cray, all the council people as well, and all the residents. Another school year has begun. As you are pretty much aware, I am concerned about the air we breathe here in Brook, especially surrounding the Garden State Parkway. Some may be aware that I do bring up the breathing problems as it concerns the children in schools, and now with the excessive masking making things worse and more deadly for the children. Once again, an anniversary of the beginning of the destruction of the environment surrounding the Garden State Parkway is here, with so little being done to help the residents and relieve some of the health issues caused by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. Again, that time has passed by. Within legal means, you can continue to try to make the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners do the right thing and mitigate some of the ill effects that have brought about the destruction of the environment near and on the Garden State Parkway. We all are either workers or residents of Brook Township, and the New Jersey Turnpike Commissioners have harmed our lives in various ways. A wall around Evergreen Woods area is nice, and it would be nice, but the rest of the Brook community suffers as well. We must continue to help the children avoid asthma, help the pregnant moms not have autistic children, help the workers and residents of Brook not develop COPD, help the seniors of Brook not succumb to heart and lung illnesses and premature deaths. COVID is a problem, but if not for the weakened lungs and hearts of our residents brought about by the toxins imposed on us all, many would be alive today. The toxins flowing off the major highways, including the Garden State Parkway, are harming everyone. Studies, articles, and reports detailing the problems associated with high-traffic areas are now a part of the public record. So we should be working together and truly represent the people of the community, and we should do what is best for all the people and not the bureaucracy and those with influence. A high wall, vast, high, and thick replanting of brush and trees are needed on the Garden State Parkway adjacent to Evergreen Woods, Brick High School, Primrose Gardens, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill School, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Birchwood Park, and still other places that I didn't get to, are needed in order to correct some of the damage caused by the illegal actions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners. Let's all act now, not wait another 10 years. Thank you for your time. I yield back 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Thank you. Ms. Call?
Again, I'm Nan Call. I live at 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, home of the infamous ramp, wheelchair ramp, that the people in the community inappropriately put me through an awful lot of anguish, and so did the townspeople. I was lied to, and I have several questions that tonight I'll ask, and I'm sure I'll never get sufficient answers. So I will be back now if I don't get killed driving, because it's no longer drivable, much less walkable. And these are things that go back to the beginning days when I attended council meetings that were every week. If you notice, the second line says caucus/public. It was a caucus meeting one week, a public meeting the next, for the first 4 weeks of the month. Occasionally, they would change one of them, but it would be 4 meetings a month. The caucus meeting went as long and longer than the meetings go here tonight with the votes. And Mayor Joe Scarpelli was mayor. I called him Smiley. He was mayor for many years, and he was definitely more interested in hearing from us, not that he necessarily did much good. So I have several questions, and I'm going to start with the one that goes to last night. I happened to be at St. Dominic's and heard a wonderful orator, a priest, who's not from the parish, and when I came out, the parking lot generally is sufficiently lit, but that's the church that does that for me. And you walk any bit outside of it, it's pitch black dark now at 8 o'clock. There was flashing blue red lights west of Van Zyl on Route 88. So this old lady walked and went over to see what happened. I don't know. There were signs that said the road was closed. The only traffic was allowed heading east. No sign of what happened, but there had not been. And I stood there for quite a while. I've done this before in Greenbrier 2 neighborhood. Pitch black every time I go on that street. It's difficult. And 1 lane in each direction, which isn't even sufficient. There is no possibility of a police car coming up alongside the east or west traffic to find out and lend assistance. I suspect there was a serious bodily injury involved in that. When I first was walking to it, a couple cars backed up. So there was traffic until then, and there was not another piece of traffic for the longest time. As I walked back to my car, I noticed and I filmed with my cell phone, and the entire stretch from Route 88 to Route 70, well, no, not Route 70, to the Aldi's, there are no street lamps. You can't see a bloody thing. You can't tell where the curb is. You can't turn in. And then it suddenly turns to, you have to go into this lane. I suggest that there be a serious re-examination of the township's makeup of a council. We have too many towns doing too many separate things, different laws, no adherence to what the people have wanted. I was involved in Walkable Streets project back around 2006, and we were divided into 3 groups. I was in the group that went from above to where the post office is, basically, and that fence that Mr. Foster referred to. There was no fence there. The fence went in because there were 3 fatalities involving people in wheelchairs. I have a son in a wheelchair. When you're driving SUVs, it's very difficult to see a grown person, and they are grown people because they came from the Chambers Bridge residence and died. One of them was hit by a police car. Isn't that cute? So deja vu all over again. I think we need to do away with Bricktown Council. We need to have county government in charge. They only have 5 members in the county. Here you have 7, and what do? You don't listen to the people. I was with a group and a leader that may have been from the State Department of Transportation, and I said to the person, and I was 15 years younger than I am today, and I said, do you think an old lady like me can get across this street in the allotted amount of time? And he saw what I meant when we tried to cross, and he was a young man. It's not possible. It's not a rural residential area, and you're treating it like it was in 1966 before the Greenbriers, the big one of 1,400 homes, and mine of 600 homes, and then later, Wedgewood of 250, and I don't know when the Woods, which is a multi-use. You don't know the law. I have one last question before I walk to my seat. Does anybody know that New Jersey has its own constitution? Anybody? Okay. Sam, you and I are the people who know. Do you know when it was totally rewritten and adopted? It's been amended since. It was 1947, and I bet not one of you know anything that's in that.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir?
Hello again.
Hello.
So Joe Worth, 30 Cleveland Avenue, and I just wanted to open up with thanking you and the team of Code, Fire, and Police and other officials who conducted the investigation and inspection that brought the residents of the greater Van Zyl area injunctive relief with reference to the illegal school at 200 Van Zyl Road. I'll let you know that the residents and the taxpayers completely support and look forward to the town representing us well at the hearing on October 5th. And I've been texted by the tough women of Van Zyl that they're asking for no leniency, so just so you know that. And again, thank you. And so I've been coming here the last several meetings to bring attention to the residential neighborhood dormitories. I've heard from various sources that there are not only the municipal but state investigations underway on the alleged dormitories associated with the illegal school. I saw on Facebook Live that tonight that 91 has a municipal court date of 10/4, and 226 Van Zyl has a certificate of occupancy. Can you shed some additional light on that for us?
So the summons is written for overcrowding, so that's on for municipal court on October 4th. And then 226 Van Zyl put in applications. They did the rental inspection, and they provided a CO, but nobody has moved in there. There's no occupancy of the place.
Is the court date 10/4, is that public, in person, or is that Zoom?
Zoom.
Okay.
It's public though. Yeah, all
Right.
court hearings are public.
Okay, and state investigations or anything towards that?
The state hasn't let us know if they are investigating, but they don't usually do that.
Okay. I guess kind of in support, I'm looking for your support on other remedies moving forward, especially with 226 possibly coming on board if the situation at the school continues. I know you have a program with the summer code in the summer. The code enforcement has a hotline for after hours and from, I guess, Memorial to Labor Day. I'm asking that you implement that year-round, after hours, after 8 to 4, so I guess 4:01 to 7:59 a.m., so people can call, so that, you know, evidence needs to be collected when, you know, when they're there. I know we've gone through this in some of our matters, so.
Yep, that's already in effect. Yep.
So we can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if we have issues with alleged dormitories.
Yes, any code enforcement problems. Yes.
Okay. It's somewhat confusing also because, and this, I don't attribute that to any criticism of any department, but some people are telling me that after hours you're supposed to call police, or when do you call code enforcement? So I'm looking for some type of clear policy.
If it's a police matter, call police. If it's code matter, call code. That's the
Well,
easiest way to do it.
And so we call code, and now there's the hotline continues, and they'll come out, and they'll come out to the site? If
Yeah.
there's 20 people in a house,
That's,
I can call code at 8:30 at night or 10 o'clock at night, and they're gonna come out and take evidence. Or do I call the police, and do they come out and take evidence?
for overcrowding, I would call code. If it was like a big party going on, a lot of noise, I would call the police. So one's
Right.
police and one's code. It's
Right,
two
so
different things.
2:30 in the morning, it's too loud, we call the police, but if we're suspecting illegal students in a dorm and overcrowding, we're gonna call code enforcement, and they're gonna come out at that time.
Well, they're gonna investigate it based upon your complaint.
Are they gonna
Whether-
investigate the next
it's
day at
not-
1:00 PM or at 10 o'clock at night?
It depends
That's
on
what,
what.
you know where I'm going.
All right, so here's the way it works. So it's worked like this before, after, nothing's different. So if somebody's saying there is, I'm going to give you an example. If an Airbnb, there's a place with an Airbnb, so it's not loud parties, just there's an Airbnb, and the people are, they come in every Friday night, they're gone by Sunday afternoon. What can you do about it? Our code enforcement officers are then, they go out Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, they document the evidence they need, and then move on. So it just depends on whatever time activity is going on is when the code enforcement will go investigate. But they are not on call, like they're not, so police officers are on call 24/7, right? So you call at 3:31 in the morning, they're gonna respond at 3:31 and 30 seconds in the morning, once the dispatcher tells them, right?
Right.
Code enforcement is not that. I mean, obviously, that would be a whole police force we would need of code enforcement officers. So they investigate at the time, so they get permission to go out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday for that Airbnb, so that they know where to investigate at the time that the violations are happening. Because obviously, showing up on a Wednesday at 12 noon, and, oh yeah, there's nobody renting the place out, right? It doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
they go where what the complaint is, they investigate at the proper time. Sometimes it's people leaving garbage cans or recycling cans in the street. Then they go, the next day. They can't go on Monday because that's recycling day. They got to go on Wednesday to see if the recycling cans are, so whatever it is, that's when they go out and investigate.
Okay, because that
Make sense?
Right, no, but and as a taxpayer, I'm authorizing you to give them all the overtime they want in code enforcement, so please feel free to do that. But I'm talking more about the overcrowding, multiple beds, traffic all day going to the facility, the home, the dwelling, whatever you want to call it, to eat. So kind of have like the cafeteria there. I want something done at a reasonable point. I don't want to wait days. I guess with 91 Hendrickson, we've been doing this since the beginning of June. And I understand bureaucracy, the bureaucracy of code enforcement. You can't get around it, but I just like to see something more streamlined and maybe some additional tools for the residents, because that's what we're really looking for. And I don't even, I don't think anybody cares about the cost. And you're,
It's not the cost. I mean, we actually hired somebody that's worked special hours and everything else, so it's not, I mean, it's not overtime and everything that you're worried about.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like you're worried about it, but we're not worried about it because we have that whole system in place.
okay, so
Yeah.
we'll work, if I have any issues, I'll come back. So respectfully, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Seeing none, close public, and we are on to council comments. Ms. Bergen? No. Mayor?
Thank you. So as a lot of people may know, over in Bay Harbor, we had a big fire last night, and our volunteer fire did an unbelievable job of getting it out. It started in the afternoon, early evening, but more late afternoon. I guess it's the same thing. And it was a blaze. I don't know if you didn't have the opportunity, if you check out the drone footage or the photos, I know our police Facebook page just put some, you can see how intense the flames were, orange, red. I mean, it was an inferno. And luckily only 2 houses were lost and no injuries. There was one firefighter who was injured for a brief period of time. He's fine. But that's because of all the hard work that they had out there. There was a couple other houses that had some damage to the siding, melted like that and things like that, but thank you to the volunteer firemen and women. And we also had mutual aid come from other towns because it was, that thing could have just, because of the wind, that thing could have just kept going down and every single house on that street could have been gone if it wasn't for the volunteer fire and our police for taking control of the situation, making sure everybody was safe, keep people away from the structures, on the water, on the street and everything. So thank you for everybody involved with that. Our Pickup Brick volunteer group that goes around and cleans up different sites. They had an awesome outing on Saturday where they went to a couple of our woods around our parks and picked up brick. So their next event is coming up on October 23rd, which is a Saturday, and they're going to be picking up over at our beaches. That's the beach sweeps with Clean Ocean Action. So that's all happening on October 23rd, which is a Saturday. So please, if you want to join Pick Up Brick, they give you a nice T-shirt, they give you a garbage bag, they give you gloves, they give you a mask if you want it, and help keep our town awesome looking. Had a bunch of different activities going on. Saturday night I had the opportunity to go to Brook Township High School for their Marching Dragon Caravan, which was a great event. The Brick Memorial Marching Mustangs took part in it, as well as the Marching Dragons, as well as all schools from far away and not so far away. Jackson Liberty unfortunately won the Mayor's Trophy. Congratulations to them.
Unfortunately, that's my
I was hoping for Brick Memorial. And this coming Saturday, the Brick Memorial Marching Mustangs are having their outing. So hopefully Brick Township Dragons can place well at that one. When you host it, you're not allowed to win. So the Brick Dragons couldn't win Saturday night. The Mustangs could, and then the Dragons can win over at the Mustangs this Saturday. The Black Poster Project occurred on Sunday. Hopefully a lot of people made your way out there. It was up to about 300 posters, and they made it a little different this year. They had a special section for military and a special section for siblings, and it's people who had overdosed throughout the area from heroin, and just did a quick little, maybe 200-word story about it, what happened to the person. There's one kid who got hurt playing high school football, got hooked on Oxycontins, and ended up overdosing. There was 4 siblings, all from the same family, brothers and sisters, that all overdosed, so they were all connected in their family section. And it was Officer Flynn was out there with, to give a lot of information from our police department about our community policing efforts, and it just gave a lot of awareness because we all know it's a disease, and it doesn't matter how much money you make or what zip code you're from or what race you are or anything else. It just could attack anybody, just depending on what happens. All those people had dreams, and none of them were, I'm sure, it was like, oh yeah, I want to be a heroin addict one day, but that's unfortunately what happened to them, depending on what happened, and all their dreams were destroyed along with their families. So something to keep in mind, and next year when it comes around, please take part. Going to the Jersey Shore Chamber of Commerce tomorrow to speak at their group. This Saturday is our last farmers market from 8:30 to 1:30 at Windward Beach. Please come over and check that out and get everything you need for the winter. Get ready to freeze everything. since we also have the November 20th, we have our Thanksgiving market, but then that's it really for the winter. Also on Saturday from 12 to 2 is our Challenger Halloween. So if anybody has relatives, friends, disabled young adults, and for kids, that's what it is. Challenger Halloween from 12 to 2 over on Havens Farm on Herbertsville Road. October 8th is our next senior bingo at 12 noon at our senior services out on Adamston Road. Saturday, October 9th is our craft fair, annual craft fair at Windward Beach. So please check that out. Also the same day is our town-wide yard sale. There are well over 300 yard sales throughout town. So if you haven't joined yet, you want to get yourself on the map. If you just want to shop, you can stay in your own neighborhood. You can go across town. Dare somebody or just challenge somebody to hit all 300 of these in one day. I don't think it's going to be possible. October 10th, which is Sunday at 1 o'clock, is the Ocean County Columbus Day Parade. So please head over to Seaside Heights, New Jersey. So it's for all of Ocean County. I know it's not here in Brick, but it is the Ocean County Columbus Day Parade. So if you're of Italian heritage or just want to be for that day, 1 o'clock, October 10th. Saturday, October 16th is our Fall Fest from 2 to 7 at Windward Beach. Food trucks, cornhole tournament, beer and wine garden. There's going to be painting pumpkins. There's going to be dressing up scarecrows. All sorts of games from our school groups out there, and it's also going to be fireworks at about 7:15. So it gets dark that early, unfortunately. But fireworks early, you can be out of there by 8:15 and enjoy the fireworks. On Monday, October 18th, is our Brick Recreation Golf Outing. There are still foursomes available as well as sponsorships. Just reach out to our Recreation Department for more information on playing or being a sponsor. And then some other things we have going on. We have everything going on in October. It's a very busy month. October 22nd is our Trunk or Treat, Brick residents only at Drum Point Sports Complex. You have to register. You have to sign up. You can't just show up like the old days. Because it's much, much more organized than it used to be, where everybody was going in all different directions, and it was dark and everything else. All the lights are on. It's right on the field. It's very bright. It all goes in one direction, and there's actually starting times. So we keep everybody, not as crazy as it used to be. And then on October 29th is our senior Halloween over at Adamston Road. So that's our month of October. There's a lot going on. Hopefully I'll see everybody around town at all these events. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Starkey?
No report for me tonight, thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary?
Nothing, thanks.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to acknowledge our crossing guards again and thank them for everything they do in helping to keep our students in Brick Township safe. And then to follow up on something that, the mayor talked about with the Black Poster Project, I had the opportunity to attend that as well. And I just want to remind everyone that the diversion of prescription medications still remains a huge problem. It's an opportunity for those who are seeking, who have a substance use disorder and are seeking these. I want to remind everyone that we do have a permanent drop box here in the police department. It's right inside the door. It's available 24/7. You don't even have to take the pills out of the vial if you want to pull the label off. That makes you feel better. You can do that, but they go into the box. The box gets sealed and taken right to the incinerator, so there's absolutely no confidentiality problems at all. You can take any kind of medication, including over-the-counter and supplements. No liquids, but if you do come in with liquids, I believe the officers have what's called the Terra bags, which is a drug deactivation bag, to put your liquids in, and then that can be just disposed of. Also, when our officers go out to the neighborhood watch meetings, they bring the mobile drop box. So if you have an opportunity, I would encourage everyone to please go through your medicine cabinet, get rid of any unused medication of any kind. And we're actually seeing, since COVID, the record calls to poison control hotlines. So for the safety of yourselves and your family, I would encourage everyone to avail themselves of the drop box. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Minikino?
Thank you. I have nothing tonight.
Councilwoman Dion?
Yes, thank you. I just want to thank all the volunteer firefighters. They are all volunteers, so They put their lives on the line for us as volunteers, and if you are interested, I'm sure they are always looking for new volunteers. So please just go and visit one of the firehouses, and I'm sure they'll bring you on board. As the mayor said, October 9th is the town-wide yard sale, and there is still registration available. You must register by October 1st at the clerk's office. It's a $5 permit fee, like it is a normal yard sale that you have, and the clerk's office is open here between 9 and 4. And like the mayor said, we have over 300 houses that have decided to do the yard sales, and on the township website, there's actually a map of all of the houses that are on it. Actually, you have to zoom in really close because you can't even, it's all a brick is covered by points. It's great. So thank you so much this evening. That's all I have.
Councilman Mumolo.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to again take an opportunity to thank the hard work of our traffic safety officers and our crossing guards for all the work they do year-round. I also wanted to thank the police departments. I believe there were 4 who attended the huge fire that we had yesterday. It started around 3:30. It was pretty much in the back of my house and really, really scary. So I give thanks to the firefighters who risked their lives to save 2 homes. There were 2 structures. I also want to thank the lifeguards who in the last several weeks we've had tremendous rip currents due to storms offshore, and just rescue after rescue, getting people out of the water. So thank you to our lifeguards. I did want to say that in remembrance of Columbus Day, I know that Seaside has the parade, but here in Brook we do have on October the 8th, the same day as Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, we have a Unico flag raising in remembrance of Columbus Day in this room at 10 in the morning. So everyone's welcome to come and celebrate that day as well. And the last thing is I wanted to wish a very happy birthday to our lovely councilwoman, Heather DeYoung. I can only hope to age as gracefully as you. But thank you and have a good night.
Council President,
I will allow this once.
Thank you.
Go.
I want to wish Councilwoman DeYoung a happy birthday, and I'm glad that you'll be able to get your AARP card now.
Vice President Halleran.
Thank you. I also would like to express my appreciation for the crossing guards, the work that they do. You know, if you go out in the morning and you're on your way to work, you see how rushed the traffic is and how fast people sometimes drive, and they're thinking about other things, their minds are on other items, and they're not paying attention. They take their lives in their hands when they step out to try to stop the traffic. So I hope we all will thank them when we pass them, and just give them a shout out when you see them. And happy birthday to Heather. Enjoy it, many more. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. Our next scheduled meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 12th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor? A second?
Aye.
Ooh,
Aye.
Somebody second me. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Have a good evening.